Previously, we discussed on how possession might not necessarily confer ownership right on you over a property. So today I'll be highlighting some of the basic legal documents you need to have before ownership right can be conferred on you legally on a property. And I've highlighted 8 of those documents that you need to have. At least you have one of those documents legitimately. Number one is called the Certificate of Occupancy, which we otherwise call the C of O. This is usually issued by the government and it confers ownership rights on a person or a party to a land. It gives you a 99-year lease term on a property to exercise ownership rights over that property. Number two document is called the Deed of Assignment. The deed of assignment is usually a written contract between a seller and a buyer, transferring their interest in a property to the other party. So once you do a deed of assignment, what makes that deed of assignment valid is to register it at the land registry. Number three document is called the Governor's Consent. The Land Use Act, the provision of the Land Use Act is that there is no transaction, no land or property transaction that can take place between two parties without the prior consent and approval of the governor. Because the governor owns the land in the state, he holds it in trust for the people. So the governor's consent is a document that confers ownership rights on you over a property. Number four document is called the Registered Survey. Mark the word registered, because there are many surveys out there that are unregistered. This is a very important aspect of documentation, because the survey lets you know your boundary over a land, and it lets you know if you are encroaching into another person's land. The registered survey also lets you know if that land falls under government acquisition. Because if it falls under government acquisition, the surveyor will not even be able to produce a registered copy survey in the first instance. So it is a very, very important document. And this document is usually attached to any other land document that you can have. Number five is the deed of sublease. A deed of sublease is usually issued where someone has a leasehold interest in a property. Such a person will now give out a term that is lesser than his own original term on that property. So in such instance, you take what is called a deed of sublease and it will be duly registered at the land registry. Number six document is called the deed of conveyance. This deed of conveyance predates 1979, because since 1979 the land use decree now took over from what used to obtain. Now, this deed of conveyance is old and it confers perpetual ownership right on people that have it. So as at then, it was in existence before the C of O now came to take over. So if you have anybody that is selling a property to you and they are presenting a deed of conveyance to you, you don't need to panic. All what you need to do is to carry out legal search if that deed of conveyance is genuine, and be very watchful. If that deed of conveyance postdates 1979, you might not need to proceed with that transaction. Number seven, if you take over a property through inheritance, what do you need to do? You need to approach the probate court to get what is called a letter of administration or a grant of probate. In such instance, maybe the children or the heirs of the late person, the court will now transfer the ownership of that property to the new person. Another document that confers ownership right is what is called a deed of gift. If somebody gifts you a property, that means the person gives you without taking any money in consideration for that transfer. What that person needs to do is to do a deed of gift and register it at the land registry. It is very important for you to remember, possession can give you access, it can give you control, but having a legitimate title gives you power. Having a legitimate title gives you power, and you can exercise power over anybody that have access or has control. So when buying that land or before you build that house, make sure that you follow the necessary legal steps so that you won't take the wrong step. My name is ESV Adedayo Ajala. I hope the tips I've been able to give today will be useful to you. If you have any inquiry concerning your real estate, just reach out to me. I'll be able to handle them for you. You can follow me on my social media handle. My YouTube channel is at Dayo Ajala. The TikTok channel is Creation Concept, while the X is Dayo Ajala Consulting. You can also follow me on Facebook. Facebook is Dayo Ajala Consulting /ESV. That's my Facebook account. And the Instagram is Dayo Ajala Consulting. Thank you very much.